welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Sonia and I would love it if you could subscribe. And if you're an already existing subscriber, welcome back. So today we're going to be doing the third installment of my makeup collection and we're going to be doing eyeshadows. Now, eyeshadows are one of my favourites. I absolutely love eyeshadow palettes. They always have been my favourite. I've only really been wearing makeup for about 7 years, but I honestly do have to say that these are my favourite part of makeup. One thing you will notice though, kind of throughout of all of this, is I don't have many colourful eyeshadow palettes. It's just not my taste. Each to their own, but it's just not my taste. So that's kind of more of a FYI. This has been a collection that I have been collecting over the past 7 years. Now there is no eyeshadow palettes here that are 7 years old, I will say that. But this is definitely a collection. I might have a bit more than the average person, but maybe not as much as you might have seen in other collection videos. So let's just get started. We're going to talk about this Steeler one. I have actually been using this one this week, and this is definitely one of my favourite neutral palettes in my collection. So it looks like this. Now, as you can see, like I said, it is a pretty neutral palette. I do really want to try this colour here, definitely one I want to try, but like I said, this is one of my favourites. Every time I reach for this, I know I'm going to get a really good neutral look, and I can also kind of do a neutral glam look with this as well. I've pretty much used nearly all of the colours in this palette, and like I said, this is one of my faves, so I highly recommend this. And this one, if you're wondering, is the Eyes of the Window Soul palette. I got this from TK Maxx and I'm so glad I did pick it up. The next one I'm going to talk about is this one. This is the BH Cosmetics Kylie Barbel palette. I wanted this one for a really long time. My sister got me it for Christmas one year. This is the only one I've got from the collection that Kylie Barbel came out with. I didn't get the first one because I don't think it was easily accessible in the UK. I might be wrong, but I think that was kind of the reason. But this is what this one looks like. I don't use these mainly just because a lot of them are a little bit dark for my skin. I can get away with this one, but I just kind of don't use those. I mainly use it for the eyeshadows. So if I can kind of show you it here. So this is what it looks like. Definitely more of, again, a neutral palette with like your pops of kind of a little bit of colour and purple. And when I say colour, this is what I mean when I say I don't really have many colourful palettes. These are the types of shades I would use a lot. Now, this is a palette I haven't reached for that much. I have used it, but it's not one that I've reached for that much. And it is because it's just such a big palette. I'm not a huge fan of big palettes. It just makes it difficult, like if I'm travelling or anything like that, it just makes it difficult to use really and travel with. So not one I've reached for that much, but one that I do know when I do use it, I do like. And this is the only palette I have from BH Cosmetics. Okay, so what I try to do is put it in brand order usually. So starting off, we have a couple of brands that are like my favourite formulas. So let's start off with the first one, and it is Too Faced. I love Too Faced, and this one specifically, every time I look at this palette, it just makes me happy. I just love the colours in it, and I really, really wanted this. And of course, if you're a beauty addict like myself, you obviously just got to get it. So this is what it looks like. I'm hoping I'm not blinding you here, but this is what it looks like, and I just really, really love it. It's a palette I haven't used that much just because I have so many in my collection that I feel like it's been neglected, which isn't the best. Recently I have gotten rid of palettes that I haven't used, and it just doesn't make me happy. Yes, I really love this one. Like I said, I have used it, and when I have used it, I've really enjoyed it. And like I said, this one, I don't know what they was going with this. I don't really think it smells like gingerbread, but this is like the kind of newest Too Faced one I got in my collection. They do have another one of these out, which I am tempted by, but I'm kind of holding off with it being Christmas. The next one is the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, the original. If you would have asked me kind of every year for the past like 3 or 4 years, apart from kind of this year, I would have said that this would have been my absolute favourite palette. For me, it's a palette that is just so neutral. I mean, I do think that these two here, like such random colours like in this type of palette with the rest of them kind of being neutral. I just really like the looks I get with this. When I used to go out, which obviously isn't often now, but when I used to go out, if I didn't like any of the looks, I just used to grab this and know that I would get a perfect look from it. And that's why I think it was my favourite for such a long time. It still does smell like chocolate, so it's not gone off, but this is definitely one of the older ones in my collection. I do really, really enjoy it, and as you can see with Marzipan, I've got quite a big dip on that. I mean, even now to this day, like I would still wear this and still be really, really happy with the look, and that's why I know that these are my favourite formula. And I'd say kind of one of my least favourite out of my Too Faced, this is my last one, is the Too Faced Sweet Peach, and I was really surprised at myself because I thought I would really like this. Now I got this kind of around Valentine's Day one year, and online the kind of colours of it, I was like, this is definitely up my street. But now when I look at it, it's one of those palettes that I just kind of feel a little bit uninspired with, and I think it's just because they've tried to mismatch so many colours together, and it's just, I don't know, it just doesn't make me happy. Again, another one of these eyeshadows similar to the other one, Marzipan Luscious. Again, I've kind of got quite a good dip on that. I love those types of colours in palettes. Yeah, I feel like I said out of all of them, this is my least favourite, and I think I need to try this one more and make a decision whether this is one that's going to be staying in my collection, because like I said, when I look at it, it just doesn't super inspire me. Okay, next is the other brand, which is also my favourite formula, and it is Urban Decay. Now again, I don't have too many Urban Decay palettes, I only have 3 again, but this one I really wanted. Like, this was limited edition and I didn't get it, and I was so gutted, and I vowed to myself that I would always buy limited edition collections if I really like it, and I still don't. I still just let them go by, which obviously I don't learn my lesson, but this did come back in stock, and because for that reason I then picked it up and I was like, I need this. This is like a palette that I really enjoy. So it comes with some highlights and blushes. I mean, that one would be the only one I could really use on my skin tone as a highlight, but these I can definitely use as blushes. And then we have the eyeshadows, which I know, like I said to some people, a lot of my eyeshadow palettes might seem boring, but this is exactly what I like to use. Kind of, you've got the little bit of like the dark berry here, which I really like, and it kind of, I think this actually complements this palette, but I really like this palette. I know for a fact again that I could get a really good look with this, and like I said, you can take it traveling. You've got your highlights and your blushes and your eyeshadow palette, and you do also get a mirror that you can take out of it as well. So this is just really handy, I think, for traveling, and I do really like this one. I've switched them around, so if you can't see them, they are there, I promise. Next one is the Urban Decay Naked 3. This one I have so much sentimental kind of feelings towards it, because this was actually given to me from my parents for one of my birthdays, and obviously this is quite a pricey eyeshadow palette, so it was really nice of them to do that. But like I said, because of that and because it's a gift, I can get quite sentimental. But this palette in general I do really like. I think for kind of that reason it is one of my favourites. The colours here again are just perfect neutral ones, which I could pick this up and know that my look wouldn't be kind of out there, but like a look that I like. And this one has had a lot of love. I know to some people it wouldn't look like it because there's no pan or anything, but this one has had a lot of love, and I do think it takes a long time to hit pan on Urban Decay eyeshadows. Please let me know below if you've hit pan on one and how long it took you. And I do want to pull it out more. I know, like I said, it has had a lot of love, but I do want to use it more, and this one is definitely my favourite. And my last Urban Decay one is one that is now discontinued, and it is the original Urban Decay. Now this one is a different fabric to like the other ones I've got, and I think they kind of changed it since the first one. I think maybe just because it can get quite dirty. But yeah, like I said, this one is now discontinued. They did bring out the Urban Decay Naked Reloaded, but it's not the same because they don't have these colours here. Now, personally for me, I don't really use these colours anyway. I have used them. I'm just not a huge fan of blues on me personally. I have blue eyes, so I feel like it just doesn't work that on me. I'm not saying it wouldn't work for anybody else, but for me, I just don't like it. You know, kind of the rest of the colours are very similar in the other ones to this. If you don't have this but you really like the look of it, go and have a look at that. I'll put a picture on the screen for you so you can see. This palette I haven't used that much. Now I have used it, but it's one that I just feel like I haven't reached for as much as I should. And it's definitely one I want to keep in my collection because I know that this is pretty much a palette I would use every day. Again, like I said, just because I've got so many in my collection, I feel like a lot of them have been neglected, and that's not what I want to do going forward. So I want to be getting a lot more use out of my eyeshadows because, like I said, I have so many beautiful eyeshadow palettes that I really want to get more use out of them. Okay, so next we move on to the next brand, and that is I Heart Revolution. I'm really sorry, this one's super reflective, but this is the I Heart Revolution Dragon Hearts palette. Now, as you can see, this one I was drawn to for the colours. Like, these purples, they are, when I look at them, they pretty much look the exact same. This palette is the only palette I have purples in. I got rid of kind of all the other ones. I just don't really see myself using a lot of purples, but I like to have the option in palettes. I really like this one, and as you will see in the next one I will show you, these ones are really easy to hit pan on, but these are really inexpensive. You can pick these up for I think less than £10. I'll put the price on the screen for you, but I really do like these. The colours are beautiful. I used this one the other day because I have used this one recently to see whether I wanted to keep it, and this looked as vibrant on the eye as it does in the pan, and even at the end of the day it looked as vibrant as that, and I was so impressed considering, like I said, it is such an affordable price. And like I said, I will definitely get use out of this because I think there's so many beautiful looks you could do with these. And the other one I have is the I Heart Revolution Angel Hearts palette. Now this one I got as a gift from my sister. I love pinks, so this palette was perfect for me, absolutely perfect. And even now when I look at it, it just makes me happy because I am a huge fan of pinks. I have hit pan, as you can see, but like I said, it doesn't take long to do it. This colour here as well, let me see if I can try and bring it up a little closer and hopefully you can see. This colour here as well is so unique. I've not actually seen anything like it before. It's like a grey colour with like gold flecks in it. I've never seen anything like it before in like any palettes. I do like this one. Like I said, I have used this one a lot because I have hit pan on it. Just like these colours in general just make me happy. Like I said, I really do like pink looks, and I think a pink look can be any time of year. That's my opinion. But when I look at this, it just makes me happy, and like this one here, just all of it, and I will definitely be keeping this. Okay, now we move on to the next one, and the next one is W7. So again, another affordable brand. These are dupes for Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. I feel like I always say that wrong. I don't know whether it's just my accent, but I feel like I can never say that brand properly, so I apologize. But these are dupes for those, so if you don't have the money to spend on those palettes, because not everybody does, and I don't even own any of Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes, so to me having something like this is kind of close enough. So this is the W7 on the Rock, and this one is the dupe for the Subculture palette. Now this one is definitely different in my collection, mainly just because these aren't colours I'm usually gravitating towards, but I like to have something a little bit different because, you know, there might be some day that I might need this palette. I don't know, I just feel like I want to keep onto it for that reason because it is so different in my collection. I know people said that the Anastasia one wasn't the best quality, but I've heard kind of mixed reviews on that. But with this, I think their formula is really good. Obviously not the best compared to like other ones I have in my collection, but for the price I think they are really good, and my sister really rates W7 eyeshadow palettes. And the other one I have is the W7 Delicious palette. So this is the dupe for the Modern Renaissance. I've used this one recently and absolutely loved the looks I did with this. I was kind of tempted to potentially declutter it, and that's why I wanted to use it, and this, well, as you can see, it's definitely not being decluttered. This is such a nice palette. Like I said, unfortunately I can't do a comparison for you because I don't have the Anastasia one. I don't have that palette, so I can't tell you whether, you know, the formula is the same or this one's better or that one's better. I mean, obviously for price point wise, the Anastasia brand is obviously a little bit more expensive. I think these are about £6 something. I will put it on the screen for you, but I think for that price this is a really nice palette. And I do have another number 7 one coming up soon, but I like to kind of also do it in order of kind of height as well, just to make it easier for me. Okay, next we move on to Revolution, and I do have quite a lot of eyeshadow palettes from Revolution because I really like their formula. They're really like decent priced, and also they're quite easily accessible, but they also do kind of sometimes do dupes for, again, palettes that are a little bit more expensive, and I really like that about Revolution. I know some people really kind of hate on them for that reason, but not everybody has a lot of money to spend on, you know, like for example Huda Beauty palettes or any of the other palettes that it dupes, because obviously they're about £50–60, which is just not in some people's budget. So I do really like Revolution for that reason, and I just also really love their formula as well. So starting off, we have this one. So this one I actually got as a gift from my best friend last Christmas, and it is the Reloaded Affection. So this one is pretty much like full shimmer, and I'm all about it, to be honest. I love having a palette like this, because you can easily reach for it if you want to kind of jazz up a bit more of a matte look, or like me, I sometimes just like a shimmer eye. That's just the way that I like it. And this one, I'm kind of just drawn to anything shimmer. I don't know if anyone else is like that, but I just love a good shimmer eyeshadow. I haven't used this one as much yet, but when I do use it, I know that I'm going to get some good looks from this. I have used it, like I've used this one here, but like this one, I want to use this. And that's not usually like me. I don't really like to kind of gravitate towards the darker colours in palettes. But that one I just think would look amazing on a night out. It's got like a teal shimmer to it. I love it. But yeah, I really like these ones, and I think they are so affordable, but the quality is amazing on them. So as you will kind of seen already, I talk about these palettes and just kind of say how amazing they are, and that's just because I don't keep anything in my collection that I just don't really like, just because to me there's no point having stuff like that in your collection. It can go to somebody else that might be able to enjoy it a lot more. I've got a lot of family, a lot of friends that might be able to want to use them, and it might work better for them. I'm kind of in the impression that if it's not something you love, I don't know why you would keep it in your collection just to hoard it and for it to never get used. That's kind of my opinion. So if you hear me say, oh my god, I love this, and yeah, this one's great and I love it, it's just because I do actually love them all. The next one is this one. So this is the Revolution Reloaded Neutrals 3. This one I've bought as gifts for people before, just because this quality of this is amazing. This one I think has to be one of my favorites from Revolution, and these I think are £5, so really affordable. And sometimes they have deals on the Revolution website where you can get like so many, and then so many of the palettes for a certain price. I want to get more of these, and I have actually bought more of these for people as well, like over previous like Christmases and stuff like that. This one I want to reach out more, especially at this time of year, because they're more autumn winter, so I want to pull this one out a lot more. I have used this one a lot though, because like I said, I've used it a lot to know that I really like it. Honestly, I would have a look at these and just see what you think, because they are amazing quality for the price. The packaging isn't the best though, but I mean, I think I can kind of forgive them for how good they are. Another one that again I got for my best friend last Christmas was this one, and this is a Revolution Surf palette. I don't think they do this one anymore, but this came in a set with like a contour palette and like some lip glosses and stuff like that. I really like this one. I really rate this one, and I do actually watch surf on YouTube now. This palette, when I use it, the looks I get with it are just amazing. Again, a kind of palette that has just a random colour in it, but yeah, I don't really know why they've put that one there, to be honest, but that is a nice colour. I do like this palette. It blends really nice. You've got enough kind of differences in here to kind of do just a either neutral look, a bit more of a smoky neutral look, a pop of pink. So no, I do really like this one. Unfortunately, I think this one is discontinued now. I don't think you can get it. I know that Surf does have some other palettes on the Revolution website, which I would actually be interested in looking at. The next one was one that I wanted for such a long time, and this one is, I think, one of the oldest Revolution ones in my collection. I couldn't get this one for ages. It seemed to be sold out every time I went into Superdrug like years ago. And it is the Revolution Fortune Favours the Brave one. I think this was a collaboration with British beauty blogger. So this was a collaboration. Now I've used this one recently because I was umming and ahhing about whether I wanted to keep this or not, just because it isn't really a palette that when I look at it I'm like super inspired. Now I didn't use these and I didn't use these. Like I said, I don't really use a lot of blues, and sometimes like these types of purples can make my eyes look bruised, so I'm obviously don't want to look like that. I did use this, I used all the rest of them, and I actually came to the conclusion that I do actually really like this palette. I think I just haven't given it enough of a shot, and I think it was just because, like I said, when I look at it I'm thinking, right, what can I do with this palette? The quality of this is really nice. This is, like I said, one of the older ones, so potentially I might look at trying to use this one a little bit more. But the pans aren't very big, so that's how I've managed to be able to fit a lot in this palette. And you do have a lot of different selections. Again, I don't think you can get this one anymore. I will let you know on the screen if you can, but I'm pretty sure you cannot get this one anymore. That's the thing I think sometimes with Revolution, but a lot of brands do it. The next one was a gift from my sister last Christmas. I wanted this one as well, and this one is the Revolution Pro New Neutrals palette. This one is a dupe Firstly, can we just talk about this packaging? Like, how amazing is that packaging? And here it is. So this is a dupe, and of course, I'm sure you will already know by now what this is a dupe for, but this is a dupe for the Huda Beauty palette. Now, I actually bought my sister like the Huda Beauty version of this, I believe. I can't remember whether it was this one or one of the other ones, but personally for me, don't want to be spending that amount of money on myself for that palette. And then when I saw that Revolution came out with this, I put it straight into my wish list because I was like, I really want to try it. I have used this and I do like this palette. I haven't used it that much, again, for kind of the reasons I've mentioned before. I'm also really scared to use these two because they are like, I think they're like pressed glitters and I'm scared it's going to get into my eye. When this first came out, there was a lot of comparison videos on YouTube with this and the Huda one, and a lot of people said that this one was as good. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure this is like £15. I'll put the price on the screen, and I do think you can still get this as well. So if you're interested in trying that but don't have the money to pay out like £50–60 for that palette, then go and have a look at this. And then the last Revolution one I have in my collection is this one. So this is the Revolution Life on the Dance Floor guest list. Now, the packaging on this one is beautiful. I got this one for my birthday from my parents, and it looks like this. So it's pretty much like an all like peachy neutral palette. This one I think is nice. Now, the packaging on this one broke so easily, like it doesn't close properly, so I find it really difficult to kind of take it traveling. I'm too scared that it's going to smash, but it's also kind of one of the bigger ones in my collection. I haven't reached for this one that much. I need to make a decision on this one, whether this is one I want to keep, because I do have a lot of these colours in my collection. Like I said, because it has been given to me as a gift from my parents, I find it really difficult to get rid of it. Like I said, I might really enjoy it, I just haven't given it enough of a chance. And then kind of the last three that go down here. First one I want to talk about was such a huge disappointment for me, and everybody when this first came out absolutely raved about it, said how amazing it was. So I actually asked my boyfriend to get me it for last Christmas, and it is the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette. I don't rate this at all. This was £60, so this was really expensive, and I put some money towards it because, I mean, obviously it's quite expensive and my boyfriend had already got me quite a lot of stuff. So I put some money towards this, and it looks like this. Now, this colour story is exactly what I would usually use, as you can see from my collection. But this was so disappointing. This colour here was so patchy. I mean, I don't know whether anyone else has had that experience with it, but I found it quite patchy. Of course, the shimmers were beautiful in this palette. And this one, oh my god, like, so pretty. But this is £60. This is £60 for this palette, and I have shimmers in like my £5 palettes which are as good. I won't be buying any more Natasha Denona palettes, that I know for certain, just because of the price point of it, and this is one of the cheaper ones. So that's my opinion. I have seen people say that these ones compared to her bigger ones, the quality isn't as good in these. Yeah, I'm not a fan, but I'm not getting rid of it because this was a gift, and also it's very expensive, and it's not that bad. You know, it's not that bad that I can't use it, but it's just not my fave. One of the newer ones in my collection is this one. This is the Party Like a Flockstar Benefit. This one's more of a face palette, so you get kind of different ones in here. So you get your eyeshadows, your bronzer, a couple of blushes, and you get some lip products. Now, obviously, we haven't had chance to travel, but I do think this one would be perfect for travel because you don't always want to be taking loads of palettes and everything with you. This is perfect. Now, I do have these two blushes in individuals, but like I said, having something like this when you can travel is perfect. And I do actually really like Benefit. I love their bronzers. As you know, I'm actually in my project pan, I've got the original Hoola, and I absolutely love Hoola Light. I haven't tried any of the lip product, and I also haven't tried any of the eyeshadow palettes, so I really wanted to give this a go, and I got this on a really good deal, so that's why I picked it up. And when we can travel again, I will definitely be using this. And the other W7 palette in my collection is this one. So this is the W7 Total Eclipse. So it looks like this. So this one again is a dupe for the, is it Mercury Retrograde? I think that's what it's called, from Huda Beauty. Now, I nearly bought that palette just because I actually really liked that palette. I think out of all the kind of Huda Beauty's ones, like the bigger ones, I felt like that one I was more drawn to. But then I actually saw this, and this is like, I think I want to say less than £10, obviously compared to the £60. So when I saw this, I picked it up. These shimmers here are so beautiful. Like, I'm drawn to this, and I'm never usually drawn to these types of colours. I've used this, and this is brilliant. If you were like me and you were nearly tempted to buy the Mercury Retrograde from Huda Beauty, then honestly, go and look at this. I think it is brilliant, and I mean, it's even better when it's cheaper as well. So honestly, go and have a look at this. But these colours, like I said, these ones are not maybe ones I would use all the time, but I like to have stuff like this in my collection so I can have the option if I want to. And the one that kind of goes on the top because I can't fit it is a Morphe palette, and this is the Jaclyn Hill Ring the Alarm palette. Now, this is the only one I've got from the Vault collection. There was another one that I did want, which I will put on the screen here for you, but this one I definitely think is the one that is one I would wear the most. I actually got this from my nan last Christmas, and you would have seen this in my palettes I want to use more in autumn winter, because I do want to use this one more. I really haven't used this one. It kind of annoys me because this is definitely a palette I can see myself using, and beautiful colours for this time of year. Now, I have used this palette, and I've mainly used the shimmers, and I think they are really nice. I know a lot of people said when this came out that this, like the Vault collection, just wasn't the best. I haven't tried her original one, so I can't say. And like I said, I don't really like bigger palettes, so it's not really something I would reach for. I do like this. From when I have used it, I've had no problems whatsoever with it. And these colours, like I said, are ones I would definitely use a lot more than the other ones. The other ones are really, really pretty, but they're pretty to look at, but I just wouldn't personally use them. Now, these are kind of all of my bigger palettes. Now we're going to move on to my smaller palettes. So starting off, we have this one. So this is another I Heart Revolution one, and this is the Chocolate Orange palette. The packaging on this is just so cute. I really, really like that design, and this is what it looks like. Now, the shimmers in this palette aren't great. They're not bad, but they're just not great either. But the other ones are okay. Like, I wouldn't go out and get this one again once I've used it up, if I ever do use it up, but it is a perfect size for traveling, and there is pretty much colours there that I use all the time. Yeah, this one I don't think are as good as the bigger palettes. I like this one because Chocolate Orange is my favourite, so that was kind of another reason why I picked that up. Next one we have is the Star London Velvet Touch Devil Eyeshadow palette. Now, you would have seen this because we got this in Box in September. You've also seen me talk about this, but I really like the formula of this. I hadn't heard of Star London before I got it in Box, but I really, really like this palette. I think the colours are perfect. They're really pigmented, the shimmers are beautiful, and this is also a dupe for a Huda palette, but I do actually have that Huda palette, and it is this one. So it's a Huda Beauty Coral Obsessions. Now, I got this one recently, and I nearly didn't pick it up just because I do have this one and I know I like it, but I want to kind of do a comparison video on them both because I think they are very similar. There is enough differences there for me to warrant to keep them both, but there's also a lot of similarities. So again, I think this one's about £25 and this one's £15. So if you don't have a lot of money and you want something similar to this, then I think this is a really good alternative. I'm really sorry if you can hear outside. It is pouring with rain. I want to kind of do that video to show you and let you know whether I think this one is better or this one. I mean, sometimes the higher end ones are better and sometimes I think these ones are as good. So I'd like to kind of give you that view, and I know my best friend also loves those. But no, I am excited to finally own a Huda Beauty palette. I haven't tried the formula of this before, so I'm excited to give that a go. Next one we have is this one, and this is from Primark, and this is the Berry Velvets. I actually got this in Spain when I went last year for €3. I'm not even kidding when I say this. The best €3 I've ever spent, and I don't know what that is in like UK. I want to say it's most probably £3. Honestly, I really rate these, and I'm surprised because I didn't really think I would like Primark makeup, but I know it's obviously come on heaps and bounds since it first came out. I don't really go to Primark that much, to be fair. If I am in there, I will definitely have a look at getting some more of these because I really rate them. Again, I think these are meant to be a dupe for the other ones. I don't know which one this one's meant to be a dupe for. I'll see if I can try and find it and maybe put a picture here for you, but I'm not sure. But I know I really like this, and I would honestly recommend going to look in Primark for these. We then have the Smashbox one, which looks like this. The packaging on this is amazing. I love it. I actually got this a couple of years ago when I was on holiday, and this is the Ablaze palette. Now, I have used this one. It's not my favourite in my collection. I don't know why. I just don't see myself gravitating towards it. Like when I get to choose a palette, I don't see myself wanting to use this one, and that makes me sad. But I've kept it in my collection because I don't think I've given it enough of a chance, and that's why. When I do use this, I know I like it, but every time I just kind of go to look at a palette, this isn't really one I ever choose. When I do use it, I like it, but it's not one that is my favourite and one that I gravitate towards a lot. And then I have a couple of Pat McGrath ones. Now these are the more inexpensive ones. I got them on sale for £22 and I got 2 of them. So they're in this packaging, so not the kind of nicer packaging, but the quality of these are beautiful. I honestly, I haven't tried her other palettes just because of the price point really. £100 is just not something I want to spend on an eyeshadow palette, but these are beautiful and I'm happy enough to have these and know that these perform well. And obviously, don't get me wrong, I think the other palettes are absolutely stunning, but like I said, just completely out my price point. I'm happy enough to have these and know that if this is the same formula, absolutely stunning. And this one's a bit more of the neutral one compared to the other one, which I'm going to show you. This one I've used a lot more than this one. Oh, I didn't tell you what that one was called. This one is called Sublime, and this one I'm going to show you is called Subversive. So this one is more of a colourful one. I know I said I don't have many colourful ones in my collection, and I was telling you the truth because this is the only colourful one I have, and I haven't used this one that much, but I mean, look at that one and look at that one. Like, how stunning are these? Again, I know they're all shimmers, so if you're not into that, these most probably aren't the palettes for you. I'm going to make more of an effort to get this one out, especially kind of around the festive period. This one, and for some reason this one is drawing me in. I think it's just because it's like a icy blue, but no, I haven't used this one as much. But if it's the same formula as that one, then I know these are going to be beautiful. And last but no means least, we have a little pot here with some individuals. We have this little mini elf one. This one is in cream and sugar. I don't like these. I don't see what people rave about them, to be honest. I just personally don't think they are the best. Don't get me wrong, they're not the worst things I've ever tried, and I'm keeping it because I feel like I need to use it more to kind of really kind of validate that opinion I have of it. But I think maybe it might just be as well because I just picked maybe not the best colour range. I mean, this is like anyone could use this, but yeah, I don't know, I'm not wowed by it like everybody else is, and I have seen another couple of people say the same. But these are really inexpensive, but like I said, not necessarily bad. But just take my opinion with a pinch of salt because I know a lot of people love these. I think it's just I have so many other eyeshadow palettes that stuff like this is most probably not going to be my favourite. We then have this one. This is the Lottie London eye foil. I got this one in my latest in beauty, and I think this was in the advent calendar last year, and it is faded. Now, I've used this once and it's a really beautiful topper for eyeshadow. I'm definitely going to pull this out around the festive period because I think this is perfect for that time. I can't really say what I think of it yet because I've only really used it once, like I said. Then we have some of the Charlotte Tilbury Colour Chameleons. These I was so disappointed in. I got these in like a little set when Charlotte Tilbury had a sale. Now this one, which is I think Champagne Diamonds. Yeah, Champagne Diamonds. This one's meant for blue eyes. And this one I have used more and kind of made the decision that this one will be staying in my collection because I can kind of use it as a topper. But these two, which this one here is Smoky Emerald, which is the one I actually wanted originally. And this one's meant to be for hazel eyes. And this one here is Dark Pearl for brown eyes. Now, I haven't used these ones recently. I used them once before and I hated them. I thought the formula was horrible. They took, like, when you blend them, they kind of blended out to nothing. It just, to me, I didn't really see the need for it. And I was really excited for this one because I wanted to use it as like a dark smoky eye because I'm rubbish at smoky eyes. So that's kind of why I wanted to use these. But unfortunately, I just wasn't a huge fan. But I am going to give them another go, and if I don't like them, I can pass them along to somebody else. So the last one we've got is this one, and this is the Laura Mercier Caviar Stick in Amethyst. This is one of the more recent ones, and I have tried this, and I do really, really like it. Amethyst is my birthstone, so this was kind of perfect for me. We got this in a Cult Beauty starter kit, so you could choose the colour, and I chose this one just because of that reason, but I also don't have many kind of colours like this in my collection. I've used it once and I really liked it. It was definitely more of an everyday one, but sometimes like when you're getting ready for work in the morning, you don't want anything fancy, you just want something quick that'll make you look done up. This is it, and only a little mini one. I'm hoping to get a bit more use out of this, and like I said, I liked the formula when I tried it the first time, but I need to give it another go to give you a proper true opinion. Okay, and that is all of my eyeshadows. Now, like I said, I know I don't have a lot compared to some people, but I definitely do have more than the average person. And I'm really happy with this collection. I know that I like everything in here. And even though, like I said, there are some things in here that I do want to try to see whether I want to keep, every time I have tried them before, I have really liked them, which is why they've stayed here. Now, if you have any questions about any of these palettes, please do let me know in my comments. I will happily answer any questions for you, and I would also love to hear your kind of reviews on what you think of some of these palettes, and if you recommend any other palettes, I would love to hear kind of what your favourites are so I can maybe have a look at them. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It would mean the world to me, and it also lets me know that you're enjoying these collection videos and if you would like me to do them again next year to see what's different. And if you aren't subscribed already, it would mean the world to me if you did. And I will speak to you again soon, everyone. See you later.